Welcome to MaxxEcu Training Part 3. This video, we're going to be taking a look at working with our calibration files. This is going to be including how to properly upload a file to our MaxxEcu, how to save our files and proper file saving structures and folders, as well as taking a look at some general editing techniques between 1D, 2D, and 3-dimensional tables that we have to edit and work with in our calibration process. Without further wait, let's jump into this video so we can check this out.
Okay, so let's get started. We're going to be taking a look at working with our calibration files in our MaxxEcu MTune software. It's important that we understand the basic details of editing our calibration files using our keystrokes that we have available so we can edit quicker and more efficiently, and proper file saving. This is super important because if we're not saving our files as we're going along in our calibration process, we can get into big trouble. We can start to lose the place of where we're at in the calibration process. We might be making fuel changes, let's say, and we start to run into some issues. We want to take a step backwards. If we don't save our files in proper steps, we're going to find that we can't go back. We can't take a step back in the calibration process. We're going to be stuck where we're at. So I'm going to go through some just basic things in this video that you definitely should know in starting to work with your MTune software and just starting with tuning in general. If you're unfamiliar with tuning and you're getting started, and the MaxxEcu is a great platform to do that, you definitely need to understand these kind of basic things we need to have in place. So the first thing I want to take a look at is going to be opening a file and then actually editing and saving the file properly in the proper file structure. Now, we touched on this in the last video, but if you skipped over the last video, you may have missed that. Let's go over that again here because that's, again, basic things that we need to know in working with our actual files. So right now I'm in the online status with my MaxxEcu. We can see it showing our status right here, ECU Online. Now, if I want to go and open up a file and take a look at a file, I may not want to be in the online status. So let's go over how this is going to work. If I click X here, I'm going to be getting offline mode. We can see it showing here offline. We're no longer online. That means that our laptop is not communicating directly with our MaxxEcu. We could have the USB cable plugged in, not plugged in, it doesn't matter. The ECU is not communicating. In this state of offline mode, we are able to look at various calibration files, open and close them, and save them however we'd like. We don't have to worry about overwriting on top of the file that's on our MaxxEcu. That's super important. Let's say we've spent a bunch of time going in and calibrating and setting up our file that we have on our MaxxEcu, and we accidentally, if we're in the online mode, we accidentally open a file up just to take a look at it, it is going to overwrite on top of whatever the file is in, again, load it into the MaxxEcu. And if we haven't saved that, we're going to lose that. It doesn't automatically do a backup for us. So it's important that we understand, again, the key differences here between online and offline and opening and closing files and saving them properly. So this case we're looking at right now, offline mode. We're going to go here to File, and we're going to go to File Open. Now it's going to take us automatically to our program files, MaxxEcu MTune folder, and then in here, we can find two different calibration file examples. We find that we have a default file and a default V108. If I want to go and open up a file here and I click on this particular file, let's just click on the default file and click open. It's going to be prompting us saying that, do you want to open this tune file? It's going to essentially overwrite itself on top of whatever we had open here existing already. So that's fine, I want to do that. It's not going to erase or eliminate that previous file unless I haven't saved that file into a directory. Now in this case, I know that it was just online with my MaxxEcu, and the file that would have been loaded here in my navigation pane here that I can actually interface and work with, that's already in my ECU. So in this case, I don't care. I know it's stored somewhere or it's saved somewhere, and I want to go and open up this other file. If I click yes here, it's going to load my file that I just selected from that directory in that list. Now in this case, I'm able to go in and save this file, look at the file, edit the file, and not have to worry about overwriting what's on my MaxxEcu again because we're in this offline status. So in this case, we would go here to Save, and we would save the tune file. Now we can save it here into our C drive, Program Files x86, MaxxEcu MTune folder. Alternatively, I'd like to create my own subfolder. We talked about this in the last video under Documents, and then go down here under a MaxxEcu. I've actually created this already. I've created my own subfolder right here called MaxxEcu, and we can see here there's a base map and an overwrite backups. Now, in this case, we can go in here and we can actually create a new folder for a project that we might be working with or a file that we might be going in and prepping for a particular project. So in here, I'm going to go into New Folder. I'm going to find that my folder starts to prompt here. It's going to ask me for a name. Let's just call this EPA Race Project. We're just going to give this folder, the project, a name. We're going to find here that the folder is going to be present now in our, again, Documents MaxxEcu. Now within our EPA Race project, we can then save this file. Let's just say we want to save this as original. We'll call this just the original file, and then we can save it. Now from here, anytime we do any updates or changes in our offline mode, and we don't want to go and overwrite on top of what we've saved from that original file, we would use the Save As feature. So in this case, we would go here to Save, and we can see it's prompted up to Save or Save As. We want to use Save As because we don't want to save over the file that we just created or we saved previously. If we go to Save As, we can find we're in our folder here. So Documents, MaxxEcu, EPA Race Project. And here we find we have the original file.
Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here. And you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.